Even when things do not work out between us and the person that we love, sometimes it's so hard for you to even get over that because that whole heartbreak or the breakup actually affected you in such a deep level that even after the breakup, you keep on obsessing about the person and even the relationship in itself. And maybe you are also watching this because you are probably not able to get over her, and it's been weeks, months, sometimes even years, and you've tried everything possibly in your capacity, but still, you haven't been able to forget her, and you keep ruminating again and again. It's like the whole memory of everything that happened in the connection or the relationship has such a hold over you that moving past it almost feels very impossible for you. And maybe you have actually tried making yourself busy, distracting yourself with work or anything that you're doing in your life, but still, she continues living in your mind rent free. So let's talk about how can you actually detach from someone and get over that person once and for all. So, if you're new here, I'm Vesh and I'm a men's relationship coach and I help men heal with their traumas, attachment issue, and wounded masculinity in order for them to pursue meaningful connection with women. Now, if you want to work on your abandonment traumas, your attachment style like avoidant or anxious attachment, and even if you want to build a healthy amount of masculine confidence and self worth, you can reach out to me for a one on one consultation. DM me the keyword coach through Instagram, and the link is something that you will also find in the description box below. Now, before we get into the video, I have a small request to make. I'm actually in the process of creating some courses, and it would be very helpful for me to understand and know that what is it that you are truly looking for. And I have put a link to a Google form below in the description box. So you can fill out and you can even choose what is a course that you are possibly looking forward to, something that can actually help you in your life the most. Because I have few in pipeline. However, I would like to create it in the order as per the demand that you guys are placing. So let's get into how you can actually detach from the person that you love. First, let's talk about why is it so hard for you to actually move on. It's very rare that you are stuck upon that person because of that person in itself, because logically you know that she wasn't the best person for you, she wasn't the greatest match or fit for you, and she also did not show up in the best way possible. So oftentimes you're actually not stuck upon her, you are stuck upon the feeling of being chosen, even if it was for rare fleeting moments. You are stuck up on those little attention or breadcrumbs that she gave you, which kept you hooked to the whole connection. Or maybe you are actually attached to the whole dream that you created in your head of how the future would possibly look like with her. So it's not about her at the end of the day. You are not able to move on from the whole connection because that connection actually invoked a lot of emotions within you, which is very hard for you to move on from. And when that dream or how you were feeling, even in the connection, gets taken away from you, it's often a position or a place of identity collapse that you go through, because something that you dreamt about so much, something that was so dear to you, is now not there in your life. And you are not able to get over that particular dream and the scenarios and narratives that you created in your mind. So this is why it's very hard for us to move on from a person when we are, completely thinking about them months even after the breakup as well. Because you are clinging on to those dreams which were shattered, because you're clinging on to the possibility of what it could have actually been. The second thing I want to talk about is what detachment often means. Now, we think that detachment means becoming emotionless or becoming numb. That is not what detachment is all about. Becoming emotionally numb or getting distracted or trying not to feel anything within you, that is not healing. That is called suppression. And the more you suppress any emotions, the more it goes on into your subconscious mind. And whatever lives in your subconscious mind actually governs your entire reality. Now, if you have a thought from the whole breakup, which is like, okay, she did not choose me, maybe I wasn't good enough for her, and you suppress these thoughts, it's naturally going to go into your subconscious and it's going to become unprocessed thoughts. So, next time, even when you meet someone who's probably good for you, these fears actually start coming up where you start thinking of your past, of how this other person, your ex, did not choose you, or even that relationship ended because of certain shortcomings within you. So, your subconscious belief systems or limiting beliefs, let's call it that, is so strong that you're not able to even live your present moment fully. And true detachment actually means that, I care, but I don't need it in my life. I'm not holding on to it for dear life. True detachment means, okay, I love you, but I'm not going to abandon my own needs. I'm not going to self sacrifice my own boundaries to keep that love in my life, because at the end of the day, even I love myself. My love for someone else cannot be so high that I forget myself in this whole process. And this is often the foundation for healthy relationships. When two people come together, both of them need to have a healthy amount of self love. And these are the people who end up getting into the best kind of relationship. Even if one person has good amount of self love and the other person has no self love, that is also going to become pretty disastrous in the connection itself. So, detachment is saying that, I still have feelings, but I'm not going to betray myself just to keep you in my life, because my life also has meaning, my life also has value, and I work hard to make my life full with or without your presence. So, detachment is actually power with softness and clarity without any kind of self abandonment. In a way, no one's absence or presence can actually shake your core. You don't think you are not good enough because someone left your life. And you don't even think you are amazing because someone chose you in the very first place. Because you know who you are. Irrespective of someone's presence or absence in your life, you know what you stand for, you know what your values are, and you love yourself no matter what. This is an actual place where you can start practicing detachment. But when you make someone the center of your entire existence, where you lose yourself in the process, your mind is actually punishing you later on when the connection doesn't end up working out. This is why it takes you much more long. It takes you much more time for you to move on from this person, because you self sabotaged. You abandon your own self a lot of times. The third thing I want to talk about is the fastest way you can actually break this loop. You cannot distract yourself. You cannot numb yourself. You cannot try to, take up a new project because you don't want to sit with your emotions and you don't want to face it. The more you are stuck in your head and the more you suppress something, the stronger that pain and hurt comes up much later on in your life. So now that you're already in this process, might as well get it done properly. Might as well go through the pain properly so that you can empty that tank of sadness once and for all. So every time she comes in your mind, do not run from that thought. Do not numb yourself by taking and doom scrolling or watching Netflix. Do not even go into the fantasy of thinking what would have happened had you guys ended up together, because the truth is, you guys did not end up together. So you have to come into acceptance with what the present reality is showing you. And every time her thought comes up, you will feel certain emotions. It could be sadness, it could be hurt, it could be anger. Now I'm going to teach you how do you actually process these emotions, because that's the fastest way you can get over it. So anytime she is coming in your mind, actually sit down and try to locate what emotion is held in which part of your body. If you feel sadness, where do you feel that sadness? Mostly when you have heartbreak, that sadness is something that you'll be able to feel in your chest area. So take some time, close your eyes, breathe in, and try to focus on that sadness. You will have to focus on that feeling, let's say for like 3 to 5 minutes. And when you keep focusing on that feeling, slowly that emotion will actually dissipate. Sometimes you have panic attack or anxiety when the thought of her comes up because you are not processing it. You are flooded with the worst case scenario. This is where your thoughts are in an overdrive. So you're not feeling your emotions, but you are actually trying to think of what is happening. So the more you think, that is where the anxiety actually kicks in your body. And once you process that out, because when you feel into that emotion, even if it's anger, right, you will bypass it and you will get over it very fast. It might take you, let's say, 1 month or 2 months, but every day when you make this a practice, forcefully bringing her to your mind, and triggering those emotions, because those emotions are still stuck in your body. Just because you are distracted all day doesn't mean that those emotions have gone. So forcing yourself to sit in a place and actually forcing yourself to feel, that's the only way you will be able to break out of this pretty fast, because once you process it out, there's nothing left for you to feel. Let's say maybe by the end of 1 or 2 months, or it can even take 3 months. I don't want you to also be attached when it comes to how long it will take for you to get over her, because maybe you spent, let's say, 2 years or 3 years obsessing over her, and now that thought is predominant in your brain, so it will take you some time to also get over that. The fourth thing I want you to do is reclaim the man that you were before you were with her. Now, before you met her, you would have had a good life. You were pretty happy in by your own self. What were you doing back then? What are the things that made you happy back then? Start taking those things up slowly. It could be reading, it could be working out, it could be cooking. Whatever is it that actually is something that you enjoyed in the past, bring those things up one by one, because this is a phase where you have to do anything that's going to possibly give you serotonin and dopamine in your brain, not by watching Netflix and not by doom scrolling, but by actually probably spending your time in nature, or maybe going out traveling. Whatever it is that brings you happiness, you have to slowly start engaging in those habits, because you can't let someone live rent free in your mind. Like, what has she even done to occupy that much space in your mind? Think of it that way. The fifth thing I want you to do is become brutally honest with yourself. Take out your notes app, take out a paper, write down 20 reasons as to why she was not good for you. Because right now your brain is not able to get over her, because you have created a fantasy in your brain which does not match the reality. So you might think she's the best woman in the world, you might think, oh, she has the best personality, but you have to get rid of these thoughts and actually see the reality of what the situation was. Take out that paper, take out your notes app, list down 20 reasons as to why it did not work out and why she was not a good fit in your life, and read this list every single day, maybe 2 times, 3 times, how many ever times you need to. Maybe whenever her thought comes up, you take out this list and you actually read it, so that you understand the reality of the situation instead of the fantasy that your brain kind of created. And ask yourself this question: did she ever make me feel truly safe, respected, and valued? Or did I keep chasing the version of her who I wanted her to be? Most of the times, we actually look at the potential of what that person can be, the potential of how amazing she could have turned out to be, the potential of everything she could have done right. But she did not fulfill that, because had it been that, you wouldn't be in this situation. So instead, ask yourself the real question: was I chasing a version of her that I created in my head with hope that maybe she is too hurt to accept me? Maybe she has her own problems, that's why she's not showing up for me. Maybe she's busy in her life and I am being a burden on her. The more you think of these things and thoughts, you're actually demeaning yourself in the process, and you're telling your subconscious mind that, hey, I'm not important enough and I'm not worth being chosen by someone else. So in a way, you do not have high self worth, I would say, when you think of these thoughts, because you're giving someone else more importance than you're giving yourself. No one should be more important than you are to yourself. And this is not something that you practice from a place of being egoistical, or it's not something you practice and you become like a narcissist thinking that, hey, you are the best person in the world. It's from a healthy place, because you know your abandonment wound, and you know your self worth issues, and you know your traumas were way stronger. Usually, people who've gone through traumas, they have low self worth, they have low self esteem, they have low self love. So, these are the ways you can get yourself slowly ahead in life. Every time someone is not showing up for you, be the one who rejects them instead of going after them, begging them, or chasing them, because you shouldn't even be asking someone to choose you in the very first place. If someone is not coming in your life and choosing you, you have to have this attitude that, okay, it's their loss. You are not losing anything in this whole process, and that's simply the truth of the situation. So, next time your mind drifts to her, firstly feel the emotions, Second, read that list of things that you made about her, why she is not the right person for you. Because this is how you slowly start rewiring your brain to see the reality of the situation instead of living in a fantasy that you created. Dethrone her from your pedestal and put yourself back in that pedestal. And that's the place where, people start coming into your life, where they're showing up for you because you value yourself. That's why other people start valuing you. So I hope this episode was helpful, and I'll see you guys in the next one.